Hello, this is Alexius, and welcome back to Automation as Monza Motors. Last we left off, we were designing a new light sport vehicle. I have finished it now. It is named the Spirale. Engine-wise, we tuned a bit. Whoa. I had not meant to do that. That's what it looks like. No change. We did change from direct acting overhead cam to a dual overhead cam. Other than that, there were very few changes other than to trim out the cams, fuel system, and exhaust. Oh, we did go from single point to multi-point per cylinder. Or no, I think we did have multi-point just on single. It's not saving any weight. Went up to 8,000 RPMs. And we did put a muffler on it. Because it is quite noisy without 78 decibels. Sounds pretty good. Naturally aspirated and muffled. I did try a turbo version, 2 turbo versions. And it was not very desirable. I think it made it too expensive. What happened in the competitiveness? Regardless, we trimmed it out. Kind of an interesting front end that I cobbled together. Not sure I like it or not, but it's different and interesting at least. And the back end, even less sure I like it, but it's different, so I stuck with it. We did stick with the rear-wheel drive advanced automatic 4. Moved the top speed down a tad, which is only 107. Big tires, decent side trims. As small brake as I could get away with, which actually it's not quite right in the back. There, that should be a little better. A little more expensive too, but that's fine. It's a minor cost. No change to aerodynamics. Ripped out the back seat, forgot to do that. Oh, and they wanted a little quality there. How about that? We did throw on analog brakes. Definitely wanted that. A little bit more safety. That wasn't as desirable, but I wanted to bump us above the 32 threshold. I think we were at 31. And the market did want that. On that, drop it to the ground and stiffen up the suspension, but not too much. And then get it all balanced out. Corners pretty well. Goes around the track reasonably fast. Got to export it, so I want to do that now. On that, we're not anticipating a lot of demand for this. We have a small factory, expandable to a medium. We're only building several hundred. 488. Take 120 months to design. Oh, that's the engine itself. Same with the engine. It's a small 3 factory. A little bit overproduced. The forecaster says we're going to lose money on this one. And we'll get that in. With that, we can start moving forward. We're going to get 5-cylinder and traction control with a analog brake system. New competitors, new cars. $440 million in taxes. Get variable valve timing on all cams, multi-link suspension, pushrod suspension, transverse all-wheel drive. Come to think of it, that is a little weird. Advanced 90s safety. Marketing and dealership wise, what have we got? We're making loads of money. Let's see, that'll be 75 million a year. Something like 100, 200, 250 million a year. We're already pretty high on our factory tooling. Two more competitors. 2 new cars. New competitors. There's new competitors. 422 million in taxes. I'm gonna go ahead and expand Fruinia this year. See how well that works on our financials. You'll note over time it's squeezing slightly because we're expanding. Get low friction cast pistons and lightweight forged. How are we on research? You'd definitely afford a bit more. puts us at 12 million a year. $1992 tech. And the economy is contracting. There's our new pistons. Finished a bit early. Now we have variable valve lift. We just finished the Senna and the Ali Pollo. Minimum safety, Fruinia will have 35 by 2000. And then yeah, we finished all that engineering. The minimum safety that hit us on the Secchio and the Pollo Grigliato. I really want to know. Looks like low safety. We'll go one more month. In addition to the variable valve lift, this year we'll be getting luxury CDs. Pollo Grigliato is kind of old. We just freed up some money. Let's see if we can get it up above 35. Do our facelift. And the engine as well. A little lightweight forged cylinder. There's not that much performance from the variable valve timing. Bump up the RPMs a little bit. Oh wow, this is still carbureted. I'm okay with that. It makes it kind of unique. Double muffled. Probably because it had a benefit before. Now I think we just need the one. Bump up the compression a bit. Tweak the timing. Yeah, that's pretty clearly not as good. I don't think this will be either. Oh, performance wise it's better, but we're losing the mid-low and mid-end to do it. So I think we'll leave it. We can get a bit more compression if we go to an injected system. I like, especially with our new one coming out, we'll have 2 light sports cars. I like having one that's carbureted. This will be the 90 version, 158. And we shouldn't need to expand the factory at all. Engineering wise, let's see if we can get this under 60 months. I don't mind about the pressure. We're using a lot of older tech with this one. Some improvements. So this will be the light support. Light support CB90. Oh yeah, we really aren't producing very many of these. The new one's gonna be producing a lot more. Can we get 65 out of it? Oh, that we sure can. We can get extra process out of it. Oh yeah, before I forget. Wow, I remember this now. Switch to an advanced automatic. A little bit of overdrive, not too much. Keep the gears together. Do we move to semi-slicks, or do we save that money? We save that money. Yeah, this will be the cheaper cousin now. Even though I have all the quality sliders up. No, it's a single seater. I forgot about that. Why does it subtract now? And what is our safety? 26. Way too low. Standard 80s, advanced 80s, advanced 90s. ABS. ABS should give extra safety. Throw in an extra seat. And this one is so much heavier than the other. if we just play the numbers, maybe we don't need to mess with this. 138.3, 38.4. And this really was balanced to have a slight quality advantage. We'll put it back. But not. This is a much different build than the other one. Wow, all-wheel drive, get rid of the spin. Make it even heavier. I mean, it's more beefy for the engine. Really? That's where you want it balanced? I think you would want it in the rear. Something like that. Move to semi-slicks. Cost doesn't seem to be an issue anymore. And we'll get the bigger tires. And the magnesium rims. This is a pretty significant refit for this vehicle. Let's go to 2-piston. We're going to save weight and money doing that. Go up to 50, and then we'll shrink down the fronts again. Now I'm making judgment calls for each of these. Safety is 32. And we'll do the ABS. I don't think we're going to have a better suspension. Oh yeah, there's no way we're getting that to 35. Get it to 32. It won't be sold in Frinia after a certain point. Body's just too old. This has got a much better rating than the other one. The other one was 130, I believe. Do my usual suspension balancing. Just do a little bit of negative camber. Both sides. then err on the side of understeer with the sway bars. 32 safety. I think that's the best we're going to get. The other one did the track in 232. This one did it in 227. Kind of curious because it's such a different vehicle now. May do this one again in Beam and G. Now we need to look at the factories again. Engine factory should be producing about the same as it did before, which is 500. This factory might not be. Oh, and 655. Yeah, and the engineering time has gone through the roof. It's going to be 2,000 before we get this car. It's a pretty significant drop in production units. Makes the cars cheaper. I don't think we can afford to do that. So 75 months. It's on my Christmas list for the engine. There we go, that's a little closer. Still can't hit full production, which is fine. I'm going to trust the forecaster this time. And with the other one coming out, we really should be going for cheaper. That makes a lot of sense. Alright. That, I think we're also going to boost the last two markets. Yeah, the Secchio took a big hit. I'm going to have to retool her as well. We're looking at the 90s version, please. Lightweight forged takes additional. What about low friction cast? Hurts it a little bit. Yeah, just adds too much to the production units. Yeah, it could lower the quality. Let's do comparison. We get it down to be slightly more production units, less engineering time, less material cost. Smoothness is a little bit worse. Reliability is a little bit worse. 4 pounds lighter. Yeah, we'll revert. No need for all that. Get more. Wow, single barrel ego. Slightly more production units, slightly more production cost. Better in most other categories, slightly heavier. There we go. Now we'll take a look at tuning it. That was a success. Oh, nope, heard the fuel efficiency, which that matters on this one. We go the other way. Yeah, still hurting the fuel efficiency. This looks like this will be it. And we have a 47 horsepower, 1.2 liter. We're producing about 4,000. Take 80 months. We throw some stuff at it, we can do it in 3 years. Alright, so this is the 90s family car now. Oh geez. Switch you to an advanced automatic. Front wheel drive. Facing I'm not going to worry about. Radial, medium compound. We'll bump up the tire width slightly so that's a little easier to control. Brake wise, we'll go with something like that. Already have max cooling, max interior. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Basic 8-track. Variable hydraulic. Expensive. I don't want anti-lock brakes. Are you serious? Yeah, and we see the safety disadvantage there. Oh man, we might have to come up with a new one. That's pretty bad. Tuning the suspension for this is going to be a bear. Well, I made the tires a little bit bigger. Oh, we do have front suspension tuning. That makes things a lot simpler then. Add a little bit of ride height to it. I think we can call it done, but that's safety. This might be a bust. Because it will not be able to be sold in Gasmea or Farinia in 2000. I think we'll need a new family car. Get rid of that facelift. This one too. I think instead we'll do what we did last time and we'll rough out a new family car. So let's take a look. We want vans and wagons and SUVs. Alright, looking at our total commitment. Actually, where exactly did the Secchio hit? Or is it hitting right now? In the targeting the family category. But family utility and passenger fleet. looking at those things, reliability is fairly important for the passenger fleet. Safety and drivability are important for all. A little bit more comfort for the family car. Just pondering, do we want a wagon, or do we want a van, or do we want an SUV? I think we'll stick with the wagon. That's what we were using before, we'll use it again. Looking at cabin volume. Make sure we get 9 seats. Or 8 seats. Let's see where this one takes us. If we have to, we'll stretch it out to the longer one. We want something that's cheap. Keep it cheap. Drivability, the front longitudinal is better. Then we're using a boxer, so it doesn't take up as much length. There's all of our new options, which I don't think any of them are better for comfort. Oh, actually the multi-link is a little bit more complicated. Well, how about it? Let's try the multi-link, see what happens. Then we'll rough out a new engine. How are we on seat? We got all the choices in the world. We can do anything we want. I think we'll do a 1.6 liter. No need for variable valve lift. It's a lot of extra expense. Actually, we don't need the aluminum either. Do we even need the dual overhead cam? Yeah, let's not over-engineer this. Go cast forged. Bring this down to a fuel efficiency rating. Injection, single point, standard, regular, leaned out, short cast, done. And shouldn't we have emissions testing at some point here shortly? Like that should be a thing soon. Not a bad profile for the engine. Again, we're just roughing it for now. Do I want to adjust any of the morphables? Kinda think it not. You can squeeze in the trunk. Or hood, sorry. We'll leave the rest for fine-tuning later. Fast automatic 4, open differential, radial, medium compound, solid disc, single piston, no aerodynamics, max cooling. Ah, we got stiffed on the seats. Means we have to go back, use this bigger one. We'll use the same engine. We're looking at front wheel drive, against automatic, open differential, radial, medium, solid 1, solid 1. Maybe drums in the back, I don't know. There we go. Basic none, that probably won't hold though. Use standard 80s to start. See, that safety is well in range. Target the family, and we'll finish that one later. But with that, I am over on time, so I'll finish that off screen, let you know how it goes. If you don't like me finishing it off screen, please let me know. I am happy to record that. I just want to keep things moving along at a reasonable pace for y'all. But with that, I am fresh out of time. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Appreciate you staying to the end, and I will see you next time. Take care.